What are you talking about, man?
Talk about it.
What?
I don't get it.
I'm so damn confused.
What's this?
Talk about it.
What is going on here?
What's this?
Talk about it.
Wait a minute. I get it. Just do it.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
It's that time again. Time to hit those Zoom links and hit those spaces.
Talk about it.
Time to get your butt in the box and join the conversation.
Talk about it.
About what? You decide. Right here. Only on Talk About It.
Well, duh.
Here we go.
All right. Welcome back to Talk About It live stream, the show where we talk about anything and everything as long as it's freaking interesting. You want to hear something pretty interesting? So today's been a really shitty week for me at work. I've been completely slammed with all sorts of stuff, driving to and from like crazy, and I haven't really had time to really follow the news cycle. So the interesting thing is I didn't really put anything together for today's show. That's right. I didn't put shit together. I just kind of said, screw it. I'm just going to get on camera and wing it. But, you know, I had someone reach out to me. And he said, you know, hey, are you looking for someone to do the opening segment with you today? And I said, sure, why not? But I haven't put anything together. I'm just going to wing it. And what did he say? He said, you know, it's better to have 2 wings than one when you're trying to fly. And I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. So joining me today, I got Navasa, who joined me last week. Navasa, I appreciate you hopping on here and joining me for some fun conversation today. You can go ahead and unmute yourself now. I know you still got yourself muted.
I'm free.
There you are.
From mutedness.
Nah, I appreciate you joining me today. So like I said, I didn't put shit together. I don't know if you've been following the news. Have you been following the news at all?
Oh, just slightly more than you.
Well, definitely more than me. I have not had an opportunity to pay attention to shit at all. And screw it. We're just going to make it up. You're going to drop some bombs on me. I'm going to scroll through the trending news and we're just going to see what the hell's going on. Furthermore, you know, just for the heck of it, I do have an ongoing news feed going of we've got Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC there. So if anything pops up there that's breaking for us, you know, we can go ahead and listen to it there. So we've got that ability to do that. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, as usual, all you folks out there in the Webernet, I do have an X space going. Now, no. I know I incorporated TikTok lives and I started doing that last week, but wouldn't you know, they suspended my account. Apparently, Navasa, you and I were spreading misinformation last week. Did you know that?
Hold on. Wait, you actually think that TikTok actually lets us spread truth?
Well, I mean, if I recall, all we were talking about was the dropping of the stuff from Tulsi Gabbard and the allegations against Obama with his involvement in Russiagate. And we were talking about the allegations of Jeffrey Epstein and the pushing back from all the different sides. So as far as I'm aware, all we were doing was talking about what was in the news. We didn't like claim anything was happening that wasn't happening, but apparently that's misinformation. Just covering the news. I don't know,
man. Look, you know darn well the C in the Chinese Communist Party stands for censorship.
But wouldn't you think that they would want everybody to know that both sides are freaking screwed up right now? The Chinese Communist Party, of course, they would want everybody to know. But anyways, with that said, we are actually streaming live on YouTube this week. I haven't done that in a very, 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 very long time. But screw it. If I can't stream on TikTok live, I'll just go ahead and stream on YouTube for the hell of it. And we're going to see what's going on. So do me a favor. You can jump on over to our X space if you want to chime into anything that we're talking about this evening. Furthermore, you can always drop your comments. Let us know there. I can pull you right up on the screen. You can even share links, and I can pull up your links right on screen. So don't hold back. This is a fully integrated audience participation show, so that's what it's all about. So, okay. On with the show.
Okay, so if there's anything that has been dominating the news, especially the last 24 to 48 hours, it's the fact that Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, I believe it's called the Federal Open Markets Committee, FOMC, they decided to go ahead and keep interest rates the same. I believe the benchmark is between 4.25 and 4.5% today.
Okay. So
However,
let's see what we have here. We have this breaking news as of yesterday. Just in, this group suing Fed Chair Jerome Powell just formally demanded he release the transcript of yesterday's closed-door meeting where they dubiously refused to cut interest rates. So please continue filling us in. I just needed to get something on screen for anybody watching.
Understood.
I'm listening to you. Fill us in.
So the big thing is what you'll see from Eric Doughty's post here is that two of the governors, I believe it's the governor for the Federal Reserve Bank in Dallas and St. Louis, they both agreed to reduce interest rates versus what the other governors for the other Federal Reserve banks agreed to being hold it still. And the big problem with this is that it's kind of like the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. On the one hand, you've got the Federal Reserve that wants to keep inflation at about 2%, ideally.
Okay.
Because 2% interest accommodates both steady growth of GDP and it allows for the circulation of money to be able to be controlled at a rate that doesn't cause hyperinflation or deflation. Basically, you want that 2% inflation so that value of the dollar can go up over time with regards to purchasing power. Cutting interest rates means that it's cheaper to borrow money, meaning that GDP can expand or grow. So instead of that nominal 2.2, 2.3% that we're sort of used to, you can get to 3, 4, 5% and go compete against China and their alleged 6 to 8% year-over-year growth.
I hear you.
However, what the Fed is fearing is that the tariffs that Trump has been issuing to both, they've been issued across the board, but it's a severity that gets both negotiated and dealt with. So like we heard that because Canada and I think Japan, I know Canada, they failed to meet their negotiation deadlines, meaning that they're going to get about a 30 to 40% tariff on top of all of the other penalties that Canada is going to be forced to deal with because Mark Carney is a literal carnival clown.
Okay.
Versus what Trump had already negotiated this week, I know for a fact, with both South Korea and the Philippines getting their 15% tariffs. And then on top of that, it was either last week or Monday that he negotiated the 15% tariff on the European Union. However, there's a wonderful theory going around about the EU deal and why it was so lopsided. And it actually is because of everyone's favorite World War II back-to-back loser, Germany.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised to hear that. Germany has completely gone off the rails. They've blown my mind for the past couple of years, few years, ever since about 2018. But so like I've already stated, I haven't really been following the news, so I'm taking your word on everything that I'm hearing there now. Now, I know that there's been some push on Jerome Powell for a while for him to drop the interest rate with inflation having cooled. Now, I'm also going to point out, I know that there's the speculation that Jerome Powell is a deep stater and he wants to see Trump's economy fail. So he doesn't want to really drive the economy by lowering the interest rates. But then at the same time, I also know for a fact that we typically lower interest rates in order to drive the economy whenever inflation comes down. But whenever inflation really starts to ramp up, you raise the interest rates. And in order to slow spending, you want to slow the spending and slow the economy. That's what you want to do. And when you raise those interest rates, you do drive down inflation because spending slows. Whenever you have a hot economy, you want to cool it down. Okay, now with that said, we do have the interesting aspect of this whole scenario that we don't typically see, and that is the heavy tariffs that Trump has been basically imposing on the world. And so our economy has definitely slowed down in the purchasing of goods and stuff like that because of the tariffs and because of the interest rates. So with our drop in inflation, I can understand the concern of, is this a mirage? You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because it, if they drop the interest rates, could we end up seeing a massive backlash on dropping the interest rates with the tariffs and all that stuff, and then suddenly our economy just soars, but then it starts driving inflation again?
So it's kind of column A, kind of column B. And the reason why is because if you go back in history and you look at all of the other times that tariffs were institutionalized at the economic levels that we have today, most cases they would be classified as either recession causing or depression causing. Everyone's going to cite the ever-living hell out of the Smith-Hawley Act, or the Smith-Hawley tariffs, excuse me. And then you go further back, all the way back to, I believe it was either John Adams or Thomas Jefferson imposing tariffs and embargoes against Britain and France, trying to keep the U.S. out of their Napoleonic Wars. And as a result, we caused our own depression.
That's right.
What I think is different today is the fact that so much industrialization has happened that our economies have become so hyper-specialized that you can't afford to go ahead and miss your market. The number of people that a nation consists of has more than 10 times over the last 200 years in population size.
Okay.
Like, if you go back to the 1800s, your population was only about maybe 500 million, maybe 1 billion if you're lucky. And then you compare that to today, where we already have more than 8 billion people. So 10x the base, meaning 10x, I wouldn't say customer base, but 10 times the consumers. And the fact that the nominal value of each consumer is so high today because of our market capitalism over the last 200 years, it's actually become more beneficial to go ahead and pay the tariff and deal with the impositions on the duties and the tariffs than to go ahead and boycott the market. The margins. The margins just aren't
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
how does that-
and
now, how
the
does that-
American market is the market that all of the nations want to get into because Americans typically have more disposable income than other nations. And so they want to tap into that market so that way they can tap into collecting as many American dollars as they want, because fortunately the American dollar is still the global standard for now.
You want to know what a fun fact of the day is?
What's that?
Take the lowest median income state in the U.S.
Mhm.
Okay, typically it's Mississippi. Sometimes it's West Virginia. They're about, I think it's 57,000 a year. I'll have to go ahead and get I'll have to get the 2024 Bureau of Labor statistics on it, but it's roughly about 50,000 for median income. Okay, that's the poorest in the United States.
Oh, I know.
That equates
No, it's
to
not the poorest.
a
I mean, you got
No,
homeless
no,
people
no.
living on the streets, but
no.
median income, yes.
Okay. What I was going to say is the poorest median income in the United States is the third highest median income in Europe.
Yep.
In
Absolutely.
fact, I believe there's only one country whose highest median income is higher than our lowest. And I believe that might be Japan. Might.
Japan.
But either way, it's the fact that we have so much power and so much of our economic influence that candidly hasn't been expressed throughout the world until Trump came in. And what we're seeing right now is what some historians I've come across describe as the seventh era of our political atmosphere, if you will. So it's kind of like how we had the Jacksonian politics, the Civil War era politics, then the Progressive era, so on and so forth.
Yep. Okay.
When Trump was elected in 2016, historians are arguing that that was the start of the seventh era of United States politics, where it is hyper populist, hyper conservative, and moreover, a fundamental shift in the ideas and perspectives of what it means to be an American, what it means to be a part of the economy, what it means to be a part of American society. And it's shifting rightwards. And the most important piece of data to emphasize that is how not conservative, but how least progressive Gen Z and Gen Alpha children are.
Well, I love that we're getting into this. One of my favorite topics to talk about here in about. So, okay, so I went out to Tim Pool's live culture war event last week, and it was a great time. Going to the next one tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So hopefully I'll get there in time. I didn't get there in time to get my name in the circulation for getting a chance to speak. However, Brick Suit was there. That was freaking awesome. We also had Nick Sortor there, so that was awesome. It was a good time. It really was. Okay. Anyways, the topic of discussion last week at Tim Pool's culture war event was, is Trump still winning? Now, I was really wanting to chime in on this one. Because if you look at it, if you look at the statistics, stats show, the polls show that Trump's still trending upward in his approval ratings. He is still trending upwards as of this week. He is still trending upwards. Why? I want you to think about this here. 97% of Americans don't pay attention to politics. Only about 3%.
Unfortunately.
Yes, only about 3% really pay attention to politics. 97%, they got other shit they're worrying about. So when you have all these debacles such as the Epstein files and everything that we talked about last week going on,
Mhm.
The majority of Americans aren't paying attention to it. They don't even know. And as far as they're aware, they're still aware. They're still thinking Trump's going to release the files because he promised he was going to. And so he's still trending upwards. But then to those people that do pay attention, those people that are, chronically online, people that are typically like myself, for that matter, people like you. I wasn't online that much this week, but I typically am. Him refusing to release those files and trying to dismiss that they even exist and all that stuff, that really, really hurt him amongst people that pay attention. Okay? And that's where I have to say I have a controversial take on this whole point. I don't personally believe that Trump is winning. I believe that the right is still winning. I believe that the culture swinging to the right is still winning. But Trump himself, I think that he is destroying himself in that sense. He's destroying his whole reputation, and very frustrating. But anyways, I bring that up because it's what you mentioned with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Okay,
Mhm.
All right, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Yes, they are swinging more to the right. They are not being so progressive. Why? Why, I ask you? Well, we've heard this before. Kids like to rebel. They like to rebel against the norm. They're going to rebel against their parents. Kids are counterculture. The counterculture is cool. That's what it is. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. Now, I know you're about 15 years behind me. I'm Gen X, firmly Gen X. Okay. Counterculture for my generation was Madonna prancing around in her underwear, getting all sexual on stage while singing like a virgin. What the was that? Whoa, we ain't ever seen nothing like that before. Counterculture, rebellious, was Madonna making out with chicks on stage. Okay?
George Carlin.
Yes, George Carlin. All right. Counterculture was In Living Color. Homie, don't play that. Counterculture was the release of NWA, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. Counterculture was heavy metal. Counterculture was liberalism. Because
And then the pendulum swings.
the culture was firmly conservative, and to have that shock value, you had to go against conservatism. But now, and here's the thing, at the time, Madonna, I use that again, she's this hot, young, 20-something-year-old, and she's out here doing these controversial things, and everyone's paying attention to her. And oh my God, all the girls want to be like hot, young Madonna. Of course they do. Madonna's 68 years old now. Or shit, I think she's 70. She ain't so cool anymore, guys. And that's the problem, is that you had so many for so long emulating the pop stars and the bad boys and the rebels from the 80s and the 70s, that now those rebels are great grandparents. Not even grandparents, great freaking grandparents. They're old. Liberalism has become the culture. And so how do you be cool as a young kid? You got to rebel against the culture. You got to be anti-culture. Boom. Swing to conservatism. Yes, the pendulum swings. But the great thing that I love about it is that there are stats showing that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are trending to be more conservative than their parents that happen to be conservative. They are also trending to be more racist. Now, does that mean they're out there actually hating people of other races? No. When I say more racist, I'm talking about They're refusing to be offended by racism while also throwing around their own racisms in an effort to be funny, such as how we used to do in the freaking 80s, and it was phenomenal. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody was offended.
Actually,
and we are swinging back to that, and I love it. Go ahead, Navasa. Sorry for my rant.
Three things. No. First off, you get a golf clap.
Okay. Golf claps
But
it is.
There's three things I would like to point out.
Okay.
Number one, it's not being racist, it's being truthful. Because part of that rebellion that you kept harping on is the concept that your lying eyes are no longer deceiving you.
Agreed.
It's the fact that
we're not being blinded.
Exactly. It is an outright rejection of the greatest demand that I believe it's either the devil or Big Brother asks of their followers.
Okay.
I'm quoting 1984.
Okay.
It's a rejection.
Yep.
Number two, with that liberalism that you had harped about in the 70s, what it did was it unleashed a series of creativity eras that culminated in banger after banger after banger, whether it was movies, music, the arts in general. It basically unlocked the creativity because you weren't constrained by that, for lack of better words, the rigidness that was conservatism. And that's how you got like the Disney Renaissance in the 90s and the early 2000s. However, what that has led to is the fact that because there is no more originality to be had, because all the liberalism that was created or unleashed in the 70s and 80s has evaporated into nothingness of today. And what that means, what I'm getting at there is, if you've noticed over the last 10, 15 years or so, companies have been having to do re-releases, remasters, live action movies of all the stuff that we loved as our childhood, and we're seeing it just completely desecrated, completely ruined, because there's no more originality to be had, because in a way the people that created all the good art got reconstrained by the same BS that restrained them in the 70s. It's just a different flavor.
Agreed. No,
so
I
instead
agree.
of being ultra religious, now you're being ultra orthodox of the alphabet mafia.
Agreed. Agreed. So I'm getting. Sorry. Keep going.
Now
the third thing. Go ahead.
The last thing I want to harp on just a little.
Yep. Harp on
is that everything that we're seeing today, if you try to take a page out of history, just know that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. You know this.
Yes.
Okay?
History doesn't repeat. Yes. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Absolutely. Yes.
Everything that we're going to experience today is going to be orders of magnitude more volatile and quicker, because of the advent of the internet, because of the advent of our technological prowess over the last 20 years. Like back in 1999 or 1998, whenever Toy Story was released, it was considered an accomplishment to have a fully CGI movie.
Oh, hell yeah,
now
it was.
Now today, I would not be surprised if there's already an AI that's able to make a meme movie.
Oh, hell yeah, there is.
A series of memes.
There is.
And it's able to tell both a narrative and be able to provide a message that the meme culture can amplify with. And that's going to be Gen Z and Gen Alpha's bread and butter.
Absolutely. All right, so we have got Kaiser Bob from the X Space wanting to chime in here, and we're gonna go ahead and bring him up to join us here. Kaiser, Mr. Bob, aka Nick. He goes by the name Nick. Nick, how the heck you doing, man? Long time no talk to.
Oh no, it's other
good.
Nick.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. Uh, last
You
I
said
heard,
you
well,
wanted to chime in, so we're letting you chime in. Let's get you chiming in.
okay. We're still on the Gen Z trending to the right. Uh,
Yep.
yeah. So I
Yippers.
am Gen Z. Yeah, I am Gen Z, and I can confirm that. I will say a big part of it is because let me tell you, kids don't like being told what to do. Like they don't really like being told they can't do this and they can't
You
do that.
don't say.
Yeah. so when the liberals immediately when they became the culture and they start telling you, well, you can't do this on the internet. Kids basically said, well, I'm going to do that.
Pretty much.
And each
Yeah.
generation has its way of expressing, you're not going to make me do that.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. I got a story. I ain't gonna say which
If
one.
you have
But
a story,
I ain't gonna
if
say
you
which
have a
one.
story, I need to get going.
But one of my kids jumped. He was at a public pool. He's diving into the pool, and he yells out, "Nazi!" And he gets in trouble. He gets kicked out of the public pool because some Karen is complaining about it or whatever. And then here it is. We had to sit down and have a discussion with him about how you can't just holler Nazi in a public place. For one. Two, I mean, here you are, a fairly in shape, good genes, straight white male, hollering Nazi. It's people just aren't gonna are gonna. But now, I mean, that was a few years ago. But now, if he were to do it, he would be considered cool amongst his generation.
Donnie, you shouldn't have told me the story. Why? Because now I have a new twist on Marco Polo.
What's that? Okay. Okay.
I know what you're thinking.
Hey, whatever you want to go.
Okay. So
I'm not playing a game with you.
No, you replaced Marco with Nazi, kind of like what your kid did.
Nazi true. Nazi true.
No. That's not what I was going for, but that also works. No, what I was gonna say is the guy that says Marco says Nazi, and the people that say Polo say Sig Heil.
See, I think I like the Jew better.
Exactly.
On YouTube, I can already tell.
Oh, this is so bad. I am streaming on YouTube, by the way, today. So therefore, if I'm not streaming on YouTube anymore, you understand why.
Oh, absolutely. But yes,
because
hey, you're welcome, Heather Nick.
That's what we do around here. We do these kinds of things, you know. Just saying.
Oh.
I mean, that's what we do around here. We also do these. Welcome to racism, everybody.
Say hello to Professor Donnie.
All right.
But no, I do need to get going, Donnie.
Navasa,
it was a pleasure.
Appreciate you joining me again.
To get with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you joining me again. We'll get you again soon. All right.
I hope your wings are well. I hope your wings are golden brown and royally deep fried.
I think I'm able to glide a little bit here, and I'm just going to wing it from here and see where it goes. All right. Appreciate you, Navasa. You have a good evening. Nick, I'm going to keep you around.
I'm
You
staying
have a good
around.
night, man.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, listen. I made a promise to myself that I am not going to shy away from the comedy that is racism anymore. I'm not going to do it.
No.
It's just, I mean, listen. The only reason it's offensive is because people choose to view it as so. If you choose to view it as funny, then it's just freaking funny. It's like Richard Pryor in that movie, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. You ever see that movie?
I'm afraid I haven't.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you've never seen that movie right now, you are missing out on one of the greatest films ever made. Okay, it stars Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Okay, you know who they are?
Oh yeah.
Do you know who they are, Nick?
Yeah, I do. I know Richard Pryor's a very funny comedian. I've seen him in a couple of things, and Gene Wilder, I also know, is also a comedian actor.
Well,
I've seen.
Gene Wilder was the original Willy Wonka.
That was
Okay.
what I was about to say, Donnie.
Oh, gotcha. But then you also have him. Gene Wilder stars in Blazing Saddles as well. So some of these great movies, but then you have Richard Pryor. A lot of people aren't aware that, or I shouldn't say a lot of people, but people who, people should be aware. I'm pretty sure Superman fans are aware. Richard Pryor starred in Superman 3. Superman 3. So that's great.
Yeah,
but
I remember that one.
But okay. So you've got in this movie, Gene Wilder plays as a deaf man. He can't hear for shit. Meanwhile, Richard Pryor is a blind man. He can't see for nothing. And they find themselves caught up in this scenario where they hate each other, but they're like, between the two of them, they witnessed a murder, not realizing they witnessed a murder. Okay? But the police think that they did it. And now they have to depend on each other with each other's limited senses to get through stuff. It's hysterical. They do a phenomenal job actually selling the belief that they are deaf and blind. But one of the greatest moments is in the opening of the movie when you've got Richard Pryor sitting on a subway train with his sister, and his sister's telling him, he needs to stop trying to convince himself that he's white. And then that's when we get this lovely scene. Let me play this for you. Just the audio. Here you go.
You mean I'm not white? This is a scandal. What do you mean I'm not white? Why didn't you tell me this before? What are the guys at the club going to say? Does Dad know?
It's phenomenal. That's the way he played this in the movie. So you got to see it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's great. It's great.
I'll try to look for it.
Yes, and you being a member of Gen Z, you need to embrace your racism by watching as many racist films as you possibly can. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. That's the advice I can give to you there. That's the advice I can give to you there.
All the other advice has to be off screen.
Pretty much. So, yeah, like I said, I'm winging it here tonight, guys. I don't know what the hell I'm going to get into, what I'm going to talk about. But if you want to join us here on Talk About It, all you got to do is jump on over to the X space, just as Nick has done here. You can hit that request to speak button, and you can be a part of the conversation right here with me. In the meantime, what we are doing here this evening is, first, I'm going to get over to the right screen here so that way you can see me, because that way I don't have a blank box. But we're going to go ahead and see what's trending here on X. I don't know what's trending. Apparently SmackDown's trending. Is that WWE? Nick, is that WWE? That's WWE, right?
Yeah.
People still watch that shit?
I guess so.
It's got John Cena in it. John Cena's still wrestling? He's like, what, 60 now?
I think he's in his 50s, actually. Hold on, I gotta Google it.
He's still too old to be doing that shit, right?
Yeah, probably. John Cena. Actually, he's 48.
That's still too old to be doing that shit.
Yeah,
Listen,
Honestly, I thought
I'm 45. I
I
ain't getting in no goddamn wrestling ring. It don't sound fun to me at all.
yeah, I was thinking, oh man, maybe he'll do what The Rock did and just stop doing wrestling altogether and just focus on acting. Nope, still wrestling.
Well, I know The Rock like went back to wrestling,
Yeah, yeah, he
but
did
that's
for
stupid too. Okay. I see Kmart is trending. Why the hell is Kmart trending? Okay, they're like out of business, aren't they? All right, being a Kmart fan is awesome because videos like this will randomly autoplay for me now. What is this? What
Oh, boy.
is this? I don't see. Okay, I don't even know why I'm looking into Kmart stuff. Okay, I'm getting out of this. I'm gonna fall down a rabbit hole. I'm not trying to be in a rabbit hole. Let's see what kind of news is trending. You know, let me be responsible here. Okay, and while I'm at it,
Babyface Cena is trending.
what's that?
Babyface Cena is trending. For
Baby,
SmackDown.
baby Cena,
Babyface Cena.
baby fake Cena. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Okay.
I just was scrolling down trending and I just saw Babyface Cena and I
Babyface Cena. Okay, all right. Well, we do have Bukele trending. I love me some Bukele. That guy's awesome. So let's see. America should ban Soros just like President Bukele did. Who elected
did you hear
Soros?
about the
Let's hear
term
that.
limits for El Salvador?
I didn't, but let me play this clip and then you tell me about that.
Who elected Soros to dictate public policy and laws? Why does he feel entitled to impose his agenda? Let me tell you something. Soros and his cronies hit a brick wall in El Salvador. Thank God, and all the glory be to him, Salvadorans are now immune to his influence. No one believes his lies anymore over there.
I love it. Okay, tell me about the term limits, sir. I need to hear about them. Tell me about them now.
Sorry, my dog is barking right now.
Your dog is
so
barking.
the-
Tell your dog to stop barking.
I'm trying. She's a bit. Her poodle side is kicking in again. So term limit. The El Salvadorian legislature changed the constitution for presidential term limits, basically eliminating any runoff elections and also extending the terms for the presidency, basically meaning Bukele can be president for however long he wants to stay around.
Holy shit. So basically he can be president for life. They've extended presidential term limits so that way Bukele can stay in. But you're telling me that they limited like legislative term limits?
The legislature just basically went into the Constitution and just edited the president's term limits. So instead of being I'm trying to see, they abolished it like completely. There's no limit for however long he wants to stay in there.
And let's
It
do
used to
it.
be, yeah, it used to be like 5 to 6 terms, but now they just basically say he can stay around forever. But you know what? For any other guy, I'd be like a bit hesitant for, but Bukele's been spectacular to El Salvador, so I say keep him around forever long he wants to stay around.
See, I'm different. Everybody wants term limits. Okay. The reality is that we're never going to have term limits on Congress. Why?
Yep.
Because it requires Congress to pass the amendment. And they're not going to do it, so we're never going to end up with term limits. The only way that we're ever going to get term limits is if we get what's the word I'm looking for? What is it? Concession of states or whatever. Okay, where you have 37 states get in on this, and reality is we're never going to get that either. We're never going to get that either. So we're never going to see term limits. I know that.
It's
But
like the one issue that Republicans and Democrats agree on. Like
absolutely.
no one
Absolutely. But now at the same time, I gotta say, if we're not going to have term limits on Congress, we're not going to have term limits on the legislature, we're not going to have term limits on the judicial. Why the hell should we have term limits on the executive?
because FDR decided to be president for life.
No,
And
but you know what? You know what? You can only win president for life as long as the people continue to elect you.
yeah, and so basically, I looked over it for like history's sake, and there's been plenty of times that presidents tried to run for a third term. Grant did it once. He got primaried out. Uh, Roosevelt tried famously, but lost to Wilson. So honestly, I'm fine if a president gets like another like extra term. I don't really think we need like a term limit for the presidency, unless of course there's like the whole middle link thing. But we're not getting into that whatsoever.
Hmm. Yeah, well, we'll see. So, okay, we got this. What else is trending? We got Chuck Schumer trending. Why is Chuck Schumer trending? Well, he has invoked the rule of five. Anybody that doesn't know what that rule of five is, the rule of five basically allows them to force bureaucratic agencies to release stuff. Okay, and that's what they're doing is they are invoking the rule of five in an effort to force the DOJ to release the documents regarding Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this is what I find hysterical. Okay, Democrats, first Trump claims that okay, there's no files. Okay, Trump's White House claims there's nothing. Okay, and then Democrats all of a sudden, who had no interest in releasing any of this shit, we're now all of a sudden demanding that it gets released. All right, the pushback. The Republicans start saying, okay, maybe they're going to go ahead and release it. Then you get Mike Johnson suspending Congress, or so that way there won't be any vote to release it, just suspending it. But then you have Republicans saying that, oh, they're going to go ahead and subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, so that way we can get the truth straight from her mouth. But then Chuck Schumer's like, no, don't you do that, don't you do that. But now he's doing this. Something tells me he doesn't want Ghislaine Maxwell to spill the beans on stuff. He wants to have control over the information that's released, and he doesn't think that he'll have control over it if Ghislaine Maxwell is the one to release it.
I mean, Schumer has a record history of receiving donations from Jeffrey Epstein, so there is a connection to him.
Now you got to be careful. I got banned last week.
As soon as I said it, I'm like, oh wait, there's an alleged.
Yeah, hold on. I got you, man. I got you covered. Here we go. Let me cover that for you. Here we go. It is this one.
Allegedly.
There we go. Okay, so everybody knows that is all alleged. It is not necessarily verified. Okay. But here's the other interesting thing about the whole Ghislaine Maxwell thing. Here she is being subpoenaed, but then she's saying that, yeah, she'll testify, but she wants immunity and she wants her sentence reduced. She wants all sorts of shit. She's playing like major chess on this shit.
Yeah, she applied to the Supreme Court to try to overturn her sentence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, okay, if Trump doesn't do it, then what that looks like is, why is Trump trying to silence her? Okay. If he does do it, Then they're gonna claim, oh, she's gonna sit here and claim, say all this sugar coated stuff, and she's gonna cover for Trump because Trump got her out. It's like he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's got him by the balls, and that sucks to admit, but she got him by the balls.
This whole case has been like a complete cluster. Like they screwed it up like the opening month with Pam Bondi going on Fox News going, I have the files on my desk. And then like when the influencers came out with the binders and we find out actually these files were the ones we found out when they got declassified a couple of months ago. And we're like, okay, this is part one. Is part two coming out pretty soon? No. Well, where's the other files? And then Trump goes, well, there's no files. And we're all like, what? This whole case has just been like a roller coaster. Like, is there a file? No. Yes, there is actually, but it's like it kind of hurts my brain just kind of thinking about it because it's like there's been too many turns in this case.
Yeah, there has been. And then, with the whole Russiagate thing and Obama involved in that, looks like Trey Gowdy is trending. Apparently, he had something to do with it as well, as the way I'm reading right now. So Trey Gowdy is absolutely wrong. Shame and historical judgment are not. Let's hear what he's saying here. Come on, let's hear it. Take it away.
Same pointed questions. Trey.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Brennan, the same allergy to the truth that he has now. He is allergic to the truth. He lied in that part of his testimony, and he lied about whether or not the dossier was used in court filings. The statute's wrong, but to Leslie's point, handcuffs are not the only way we mete out accountability in this culture. There's shame, there's history. It's not just prison. There are other ways we mete out accountability, and the fact that somebody's not wearing handcuffs does not, to me, think that what they did is okay, because it wasn't.
Byron, last word on this. You guys are going to come back later in the show, a couple other topics, but it is...
So, okay, interesting. All right. So Trey Gowdy is trending for that reason there, and I'm just trying to catch up on everything that's trending here, because I ain't been paying attention to shit, Nick.
Oh, 9 minutes ago, from an interview Trump did, he addresses the Epstein files, says in the interview he wants to release everything related to the files.
Okay, so, and now I alleged before, is it possible that Trump started like holding back on releasing all this information because Democrats were like so opposed to it before, or not so opposed to it, but anytime you brought up Epstein, all you would hear was shit along the lines of, oh, this is just a distraction and stuff like that. But then now we're maybe he was doing it all along to get Democrats on board with releasing it. I don't know.
Honestly, I'll believe the 4D chess move argument when I see it, because until I actually see the files, I'll believe it. like there's been too many turns in this case. I don't even know at this point, because remember when the FBI released that video from his jail cell, and they claimed that it showed that there weren't any changes with the schedule, and then we find out that the video they released wasn't even the real one. It's like some kind of edited video.
Yep.
And then I think a day ago they I think it was CBS who reported that in a secret recording they obtained, there's a third person that was seen entering the cell. And I'm like, okay, first off, how the hell did CBS get the footage? And two, why wasn't this footage released to the public?
Well, because of course they're never going to release. They don't want us to see that shit. They don't want us to know what the hell's going on. We all know this. All right, I'm going to review some of my bookmarks of some crazy shit that I've been seeing over the past few days. All right, I want to get your takes on this. So okay, first things first, we got this chick. She walking down the street. She complaining. I don't know if you're watching the feed or not. I know you're on the space. So okay, here on the feed, I got some people watching online. I want to know y'all's thoughts on this. So drop your comments in the chat. Let me know. So we got this chick. She's walking down the street and she's bitching and moaning about. Let's hear her.
Another thing, hey men, instead of fucking gawking at every fucking young woman you see on the fucking sidewalk walking, instead of fucking glaring at her and being disgusting, give a fucking wave. Give a little Midwest wave. Give a little fucking wave. Be like, hey, I see you, pedestrian. Not, hey, I see a piece of ass, fuckers. Another thing.
So,
hey, men.
So she sounds kind of mad. We've all heard this story before, the cat calling, okay? Now, Nick, I don't know if you saw, or could you see the video feed?
Yeah, I saw the feed.
Okay, so you see the feed, you see what she's walking down the street. What are your first thoughts on this?
Well, what? I'm thinking of something to say, but it might.
Hey, I don't care. Listen, we don't censor here on Talk About It. We talk about it. I want to hear your unfiltered thoughts on this topic. What are your thoughts?
Well, considering the bandana and the what looks like Crocs in her hand, I gotta say she's a wine drinking single woman in her 40s, probably nearing 50s.
Do you think she has any cats?
Definitely.
You think? Okay, so you think she's got cats? Okay, gotcha. Okay. So all right, I'm listening to her. She's saying, "What is this? Why are y'all driving down the street honking? Why don't you wave or something? What the hell?" I don't think nobody's honking at her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm driving down the street and I see her, I ain't honking at her. Well, I mean, first off, I'm not inclined to drive down the street and honk at ladies walking or running down the street. I'm not want to do that. But if I were, I wouldn't be honking at her. She ain't nothing to be honking at. If I am honking at her, it's because her ass is in my way. But I think that what she's really upset about, Nick, and you just tell me your thoughts on this. And like I said, all y'all out there watching on the Webernet, okay, I want to know y'all's thoughts. So drop it in the chat so that way I can see it here, and that way I know what's going on, what your opinions are in the matter. But okay, my thoughts on this. I think what she's really mad about is that people aren't honking at her. People aren't saying hi. People aren't interested. That's my opinion. But she's pretending like they are. She wants to gripe about it, pretending like she's the one getting honked, when in reality, she's mad she ain't getting honked at. What do you think, Nick? You think I'm onto something here?
I think it's like one of those stories where, like, a woman's looking for attention. They make stuff up, saying, "Oh, these catcalling men, they're such a menace," and it turns out nobody was even in the area when this alleged incident happened. Like, if anything, I think if someone did honk at her, she was probably in the middle of the road and they're trying to move past her.
Exactly. Now that's the other thing. I hear this. I see these videos all the time. Oh, these men are horrible. They're catcalling and all this. Okay. I work around men. I've worked around men my entire life. That's what I do. And I work in an industry where we would definitely be in positions to catcall if we were inclined to catcall. And I am 45 years old. I've been around men my entire life. I've been on construction sites. I've been on all the stereotypical places. I don't think I can't recall a time whenever guys are actually catcalling at women that I've witnessed. Just saying. I saw another thing that I saved here that I wanted to talk about this week. Okay, I saved this wanting to get around to this. So I saw this and said, they say weed isn't hazardous to your health. I want to hear your thoughts. This guy. couch.
About not initially for your health.
That's not only hazardous to your health. That's hazardous to your reputation online. I mean, look at this, boom, and then what happens? His ass is hanging out for the whole world to see.
No.
I'm sorry, dude. You're ruined. You're ruined. You're ruined. I'm sorry. You're done. You're done. Your life is over. Give it up. Blame it on the weed. Put it down. Don't touch it again. Oh,
Yeah, man,
all right. All right. Just some other fun ones.
Sorry about that.
Nope, no problem. Some other fun ones. So I saw this one. This one was hysterical. Like I said, here on Talk About It, we embrace the racism for the humor. It's great. Here we go. Let's see it.
New rule: if you are a white guy with a beard, I am allowed to call you Josh, Sam, David, Kyle, or Matt, and you are not allowed to correct me. All of those.
Wrong. You are not allowed to call me any of those names. That is not my name. If that's true, if that's the way it is, then I'm allowed to call you. I don't know. Let me find something. Yeah, I'm allowed to call you that.
Those names are synonyms for white guy with beard.
That's okay, ping pong, as long as you are not allowed to drive or work any other job other than nail salon or massage parlor. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
New rule: if you are a white guy with a beard, I am allowed to call you Josh, Sam, David, Kyle, or Matt, and you are not allowed to correct me. All of those names are synonyms for white guy with beard.
That's okay, ping pong, as long as you are not allowed to drive or work any other job other than nail salon or massage parlor. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
New rule.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Hey, I think he gets a round of applause. Absolutely. Yes. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep, good job. Good on you. Now, I saw this every time I see this one, man. I love it. I love these voiceover videos of the animals. So just for shits and giggles, here we go. We're going to have some fun with this one. Here we go. Take it away, guys.
It's definitely down there. I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it too. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, well, I just feel like you can't be 100% sure because you're not looking in the water with me, so let me just double check for you. Yeah, it's definitely down there. See, if you looked in the water with me, you'd be able to see it.
Well, I see it just fine, so.
I'm telling you, man, I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, every time you do that, you're actually making it harder for me to see because you keep shaking.
Right there, dude.
You keep shaking the water around it.
I don't know, dude. I think I'm just gonna have to deep dive for it. Maybe seal this.
Okay, well, you're a dog, no to feel, so.
I'm going for it. Here we go.
No. Not even close. No. Come on, you're getting all wet.
Wow, yeah, that's at least like 3,049 or
That's not a number.
2 clicks or something down there.
No, just let me think of a better plan, okay?
Tell mom and dad I'm a good boy. I'm going in.
Wait, hold on.
I saw a few sharks. I had to get out of there.
There's definitely more sharks.
Dude, come on. I think if we both go down at the same time, we'll be able to get it.
Okay, yeah, I know that sounds like a terrible plan, and I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
seriously, I had it in my mouth. I was so close.
You at no point had that in your mouth. I saw the whole thing. You weren't even close.
I had to drop it. There was like 70 sharks.
Yeah, there's literally no sharks, so.
I love that video. That video cracks me up every time. Every time. Have to share it. Anytime I see it, gotta share it. It's great. Okay, Nick. I'm sure you're aware of the whole Sydney Sweeney issue that's going on, correct?
Oh, am I aware of it?
Oh, so are you a Nazi?
Oh, I plead the fifth.
Well, because apparently I've seen a lot of posts saying that if you like these commercials or you like these pictures of Sydney Sweeney, then you're a Nazi. So are you a Nazi?
Well, if I like the sexy women, I guess I am a Nazi.
That's apparently it. But you know, they say whatever you do. I see this. It says whatever you do not, and I repeat, do not share Brooke Shields' Calvin Klein's jean ad from 1980. Here we go. Let's view.
The secret of life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution. This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating, in which a single gene type proves superior in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species, which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
Calvin Klein jeans.
I mean, I think that is pretty much the same ad, right?
Yeah. I'd say that probably is the same ad.
Pretty much the same ad. But now here's the other interesting thing. I'm just going to ask you straightforward, Nick. What do you think?
Well, don't show the Brooke Shield video to fat feminist women because they'll lose their heads over it.
Well, compared to Sydney Sweeney's ad, which one do you think is more appropriate?
I honestly think it was the Sydney Sweeney ad. I don't see that. Let me put it this way: we're not watching a woman put on jeans in the Sydney ad.
Absolutely right. We're not.
Ones, I'm surprised that made it on air.
Well, I've got some other interesting news for you. Apparently, Brooke Shields was only like 14.
Oh.
When she made that ad talking about mating.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to fly today if they did that.
Now, here's the really crazy thing. You see that ad, you watch it, it's like, whoa, right? And you got to think to yourself, okay, that's 1980. I was born in 1980, so I was a baby when she made that commercial. So she is older than me.
Ugh.
But I feel gross watching that video.
Yeah. Yeah, that video, when I watched the Brooke Shields one, I kind of was a bit hesitant for that one because for some reason, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't think this is appropriate, and I'm surprised this made
Kind of make you squirm a little.
When I find out about the age, I'm like, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, not good. All right, now I got another one for you. Talk about inappropriate. Here we go. I saw this the other day. I hope you're ready.
Mike's girlfriend Jody has just arrived for his birthday party.
Mike, it's me.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi.
She's about to meet his dolls for the first time.
Oh, look at this. This is sweet. Well, let's open the wine.
So I'm going to read this caption real quick. It says Mike lives with 8 life-size dolls. He invited his new girlfriend to meet them at his birthday party. He has 8 life-size dolls. Now, when we say life-size dolls, Nick, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about here, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, I can handle it. Tell me exactly what's going on. Let me be the judge, if I can deal with it or not. I gotta know. You know, I don't like being in the dark. I don't like secrets. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Look at these things. Look at the positions they're in and look at the dimensions of them.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Michael. Is this it? Are these the 2 you have?
No, there's more.
There's more? How many do you have?
8.
How many?
8.
8?
Look at that.
You have 8?
Oh, God.
Over how many? How long a period of time?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you use all 8?
Not at one time.
He says, not at one
Be
time,
pretty
he
tired,
says.
wouldn't
Oh God.
you? You see it now.
I need a beer.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I like that he talked to me about it. It's just a part of who he is.
Oh my God.
And I don't have
It's just a
problem
part
with
of
this
who he is, she
whatsoever.
says. And she's got no issue with that.
Because I know when I come over, it'll be all about me.
She got no issue with it. I do. I got an issue with that.
Yeah, same.
Oh
Like
my God.
If I walk in a room, if I walk into some guy's room and I just see all of that, and I go, so, what are the dolls for? And he goes, oh, I don't use them that often. I'm just walking out the door. I'm not looking back. I'm maybe move state.
Yeah, that's
disturbing.
That's just a no-go. That's what that is. That's just a no-go. All right. We got another one here for you. So, cookie dough can explodes in woman's vagina during shoplifting incident. I don't think I want to know anymore. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you're asking for thoughts. When I'm looking at this article that describes a can of cookie dough exploding in a woman's vagina, honestly, I don't know what to think. Maybe someone's at the door.
Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door.
The feds want to know my thoughts on this story.
It's because we're talking about this.
God dang it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I will say very quickly, make better life choices, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
Yes.
why put a can up there?
I agree. Better life choices indeed. Go ahead. Go get your tour.
I'm probably going to have to go pretty soon.
Appreciate you,
anyway,
Nick.
so-
Thank you for joining me this evening. You've been a great help.
I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you around, Donnie.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate you. You have a great evening. All right, y'all heard him. Okay, you can just join me right over on the X Space. It's just that easy. You jump over to the profile if you're watching now. Jump over to my X account. You can hop on over to the X Space, hit that mic button. You can join me for the conversation. We're having a lot of fun here this evening. All right. I'm going to get into a couple more things here, but then I'm going to call it quits. Like I said, I didn't plan a show tonight. I'm just winging it. It's what I'm doing. I'm winging it. And speaking of the Sydney Sweeney ad, we got this. Someone put this together, and I'm sorry. It's just too good. It's just too good. Let's watch it.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Those jeans!
And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
If you believe in jeans, some do, some don't.
Or that they make your butt look amazing.
A lot of it's about the jeans, isn't it?
Sorry,
Don't you
that ain't
believe?
working right. I'm trying to make everything work right. I'm waiting for it to work right, and it'll hopefully work right here momentarily. Let me give that another go here.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Those jeans!
And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
If you believe in jeans, some do, some don't.
Or that they make your butt look amazing.
A lot of it's about the jeans, isn't it? Don't you believe?
That ain't working, so I'm going to start it over right here. We go watch it in the small screen. Let's do it again!
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Those jeans!
And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
If you believe in jeans, some do, some don't.
Or that they make your butt look amazing.
A lot of it's about the jeans, isn't it? Don't you believe?
Why would I need to do that?
Tell me about jeans.
But if you said that you want to buy the jeans,
It's good jeans. You have good jeans.
I'm not going to stop you.
Really fantastic jeans.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring,
Gotta have like the best jeans in the world.
often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
You have good jeans, you know that, right? You have good jeans.
My jeans are blue.
And if you believe in jeans,
You got to go with those jeans. You can't
Gotta
get
get
any
those
better.
jeans.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro Jeans.
That's something else. That ad, I can't get enough of it. Now here's a funny one.
I'm not here to tell you to buy
So,
American Eagle jeans.
So we all recognize this chick. We all recognize her. If you don't recognize her, I gotta say, I'm gonna go ahead and refresh your memory for you here. Here we go. Let me pull it up so that way we can refresh our memory. Here we go. That's right. It's her. She's awesome. She's great. So she's got another video for us here. Let's see if you know what she's gonna say. Are you ready for what she's gonna say? You gotta listen closely, y'all. You gotta listen closely. Here we go.
Fire truck, fire truck, fire truck.
See, y'all thought.
I bet you thought I was gonna say
Yeah.
fire truck, fire truck, fire
Good on
truck.
you, girl. That was great. That was great. That was a way to capitalize on that stuff. Now we got Tim Pool showing his hairline the other day. Check this out. Check this out.
Wow, I can't believe that happened. Hold on. You have to. Can you leave it off?
For a little bit.
Okay, that's cool. I got like a special.
I'm greasy right now too, though.
You do actually have more hair than I thought you would.
Do I?
Can I have the Pepto-Bismol?
Why?
I have a sudden stomach ache. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. For today's guest, we have Team Russia.
Good stuff. All right. I think I've about wrapped it up. I think I'm about to wrap it up for the evening, y'all. I had a lot of fun with y'all. Like I said, I didn't put together a damn show today. I just kind of winging it here, just trying to see what I can put together and make happen. And it seems like I pulled together something out of my ass, and hopefully I don't got to try to pull something out of my ass next week. In the meantime, I am planning on showing up at the at Tim Pool's Culture War live event tomorrow in DC at the DC Comedy Lounge. So, or what is it? Not Comedy Lounge. It's the comedy. Yeah, it's one of those places. Okay, DC Comedy. Look for that. You'll find it. You'll find it. Okay. So I'm planning on heading out there. You should come on out. It's hysterical. They have a great time. But what's even best is you get some protesters that show up outside, and they're pathetic looking. They are absolutely. We had this guy like blowing the horn, thinking that he's gonna disrupt the event. We couldn't even hear him inside. We couldn't hear him. It is that soundproof. It is freaking awesome. Great show. Going to be an after party afterwards. So yeah, if you can't get in the event, stick around for the after party. It's a good time. All right. So anyways, I appreciate all y'all joining me tonight. Make sure you hit those like and follow buttons if you haven't done so already. Make sure you follow me on all the platforms. Drop comments if you're watching after the fact, because that tells all the platforms that this is a fun show that people want to engage with. So make sure you're doing that. And I get it. If you were a little shy this week and didn't want to jump on the X space, it's fine. It's fine. You can jump on it next time. Like I said, I try to do the TikTok live thing, but TikTok don't like me. I don't know. I don't get it. But all right. Appreciate all y'all. And I'll see y'all next week. I think if I can close this thing out. I'm trying to. But my buttons don't want to work. I still ain't fixed this shit. One of these days I'm going to fix it. But I ain't fix it now. Can't fix it. I don't know why. I guess I got to do it manually. So you know what that means?
What's this?
Talk about it.
What's this?
Talk about it.